and it's always here on time. I think it's the one that opened the program today. And so because of that, I'm giving him a gift of $100. Olusegun, $100 subject to terms and condition. After the meeting, you reach out to me. I tell you the simple terms and condition. And also, for every person that Olusegun brought, Olusegun is also having a $5. Okay, so Olusegun is having a total of $110. Moses Ayejoto is having $5. So if you want it on your wallet, I'll get it to your wallet. If you want it converted to Naira, I will convert it to Naira for you. So, but that does not apply to the $100 of Olusegun. You can cash out your $10 for invitation, but the $100 is for investment, which the terms and conditions I will tell you. Mr. also, for every person you invited, you have $5. So you invited Ibekwe Njideka, and so you have $5. If you want it in Naira, it will be given to you in Naira. If you want it in your wallet, it will be given to you in your wallet. Good afternoon, everyone, and you are welcome to Financial Mentoring with Yemi Ayodele. Financial Mentoring with Yemi Ayodele. We are our social media platforms. You can find us looking for Wealth Card Mentor. Wealth Card Mentor. Wealth Card Mentor is shown on the screen. On Facebook, on Instagram, Wealth Card Mentor. On Twitter, we are Wealth Card Ment One. And then on YouTube, you can listen to every editions that are past, every Saturday edition for the past 3 months. You can watch it on the YouTube channel. So one of the mentees in the community will drop the YouTube channel in the chat box now. So if you are here today for the first time or you have not joined our YouTube channel before, please just click on the link that is being dropped now, the YouTube channel link. So from there, you can you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, and every time there is an upload of any new edition, you will get a notification. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is that. This is Financial Mentoring with Yemi Ayodele, and it's a three-way model program which is drawn to educate us about the thinking of the wealthy, to educate us about the products that the wealthy take advantage of to enter into their wealth. The YouTube channel has been dropped on the chat box. You can click on it if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, and just subscribe to it immediately. Now, so then we show you products that the wealthy take advantage of to get into their wealth. And then the third part of the mentorship program is for you to now belong to the community. There is a community we are building. There's a community we are building. And what that is targeted towards is to build a community of 10,000 wealthy individuals. A community of 10,000 wealthy individuals. Now, you can see I'm showing you something that is just about to happen. So our goal is to raise 10,000 wealthy people by 2025. 10,000 wealthy people by 2025. So we have a 5-year target, that's the long term, but we have a 2-year medium target, which is to build wealth gradually in 2 years, then massively in 5 years. So what we say is that in 2 years, if you are in that practical community, you can be listening to our Saturday lecture, but not in that community. You can also be hearing our Sunday lecture where I show you products and opportunities that the wealthy take advantage of to enter into their wealth and not be part of that community. For you to be in that community, you have to take a conscious decision. There is a group link that will be sent to you. You click it. Don't forget, it's not being sent now. We'll send it at the end of the program. When you join that community, it is free. In America, where such communities are run, you pay about $5,000 to $10,000 to be a member of that community. I belong to one in America, and to be part of that community, the subscription fee is $6,000 per annum. $6,000 per annum. So I belong, but this community I'm building, I'm running it for free. To be a member of that community is for free. But the only thing is that the moment you join that community, it's your finances, you lose hold over the control of your finance. I take charge by God's grace, because the mandate I've given myself is to raise you to the point of being wealthy in 2 years, medium term, and then 5 years on the long term. I told you that the speed at which you get into wealth will depend on a lot of things. The ability to raise capital, your credit profile, which you have talked about in several other webinars like this. And so, but in 5 years, so what we define that medium and long term is as in 2 years, you'll be able to say, by God's grace, I cannot be poor again. By God's grace, I cannot be poor again. Then in 5 years, you'll be able to say, anything I want in life, I can afford it. Anything I want in life, I can afford it, which means that if you want to drive a private jet, you can afford it. If you want to drive a Lamborghini Aventador, you can afford it. So that is the long-term goal. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our mandate, to raise 10,000 wealthy people in the year 2025. That's just about 5 years away now. And we trust we're already on the journey. Today, I want to announce to you that in our community, we have not less than 3 to 5 people who earn 7 digits every week, but that happens after they join the mentorship community. They earn at least every single week, they earn at least a 7-digit income. 7-digit income is, we are talking about 1 million and above every week. I'm not talking about every month. Every week they earn 1 million and above. And so you can see that the journey to wealth had begun. Most of them joined us in less than 4 months, 3 months. The maximum is less than 6 months. And then we've been on this journey. And yet by today, they can boast of earning income of 7 digits. 1 million is the beginning. We have some that in the last 2 months have earned as much as 2.1 million in 1 week. And so that is the work that we do by the grace of God, to be able to, using all the models that have been known to have worked to move people from zero to massive wealth across the globe, especially in the United States of America. Let me also, before we go into today's training, let me also talk about the upcoming program. The upcoming program, which is happening, let me say before this, that for those of you that are just joining us, the way we engage ourselves is on the chat box. So when you are listening to things you are doing, you are taking your notes, and you're on the chat box. Anything I say that registers into your mind, hits your fabric of your mind, you type it in the chat box. That's the way we engage. And sometimes, for those that have been here, you know that your engagement on the chat box can give you some dollars in your account. So just for those I don't want to deprive those that are just joining, make sure that your hand is in the chat box. Anything I say that hits your mind, that hits the fabric of your system, just put it in the chat box, and then that can also give you some bonus today. I want to also invite us and remind us of a program, our upcoming program, which is coming up this Wednesday, 23rd of December. Have you forwarded it? Which is coming up on the 23rd of December. Let me get the banner for those of you who have not seen it before now. It's coming up on the 23rd of December. It is called Planning Your Finances for a Better 2021. Planning your finances for a better 2021. How many of us, tell me in the chat box, you want to have a better 2021? Just type it for me in the chat box if truly you want to have a better 2021. I can't see the picture. It's not there. So if you want to have a better 2021, can you just type it for me in the chat box? I want a better financial 2021. Type it for me in the chat box. I can only see the link to the registration. I need the flyer. So so there's a program coming up on Wednesday, and we're going to be having 2 sessions. We intended to have 1, but on popular demand, we have added the morning session. Some people say they will not be available in the night, so we should have a morning session. So by 12 noon, a midday session will be happening by 12 noon. We'll be talking about planning your finances for a better 2021 at 12 noon. Then for those that will not be available at 12, maybe you're at work or something, by 8 p.m. in the evening also, we'll be having the evening run. We'll be having the evening run. So, ladies and gentlemen, in case you have not, and this program is a registered program, which means that you have to register to be in the program. So to reserve a seat on that program, I'm going to drop the link for you right now in the chat box, so that in case you have not registered for that program, make sure you go and register. When you register, also indicate which of the sessions you would like to attend, maybe the morning or the evening session. For all the community members that are already at mentorship community, they know that the 2 sessions they have to be on there to also be able to assist me, because part of what we'll be showing is that we'll be showcasing the members of the community who have made massive wealth this year, who have gotten 7 digits on monthly basis or on weekly basis. And so you are going to see them. You are going to see some of their accounts where they have made it, so that it doesn't look like, and then we are going to begin to project how 2020 can be. If someone can start in 3 months and it's already earning 7 digits in a week, then if you also start in 3 months, you can earn, by the grace of God, you can earn you can earn 8 digits. By God's grace, somebody like me talking to you today earn a minimum of 8 digits every single week, a minimum of 8 digits every week. So ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to that program. I know you want your 2021 to be better than this. So if you actually want it to happen, it is not what you desire. Will community members register? Yes, community members should also register. All community members should register. 2021, I want to see you flying high. I want to see you doing something massive. I want to see you doing something great. I want to also share your own testimony as someone also who is already among the earners, 7, 8 digits earners, you know, on this program. So let me also show you some people who have been on this program. Let me show you what their testimonials look like. Let me show you testimonial of a few people who have been on this program. This is a community testimonial from one of a member of the mentorship community. He said, I follow financial mentoring with Yemi Ayodele in his several meetings and programs, and always learn business concept really well from the way he explains things. I also find it easy to internalize what he's saying in each program. Sometimes I listen to him even while I work. It's been great being around him and the community to be sharing high quality content and making it so accessible. That is from Femi John, one of the community members. This is from Ahmed Isaac Jr., who is just a new member of the community, but already is having massive testimony. He said, before joining the community of the financial mentoring with Yemi Ayodele, I was looking for how to grow in several areas of my life, but most especially in my financial discipline. After joining his training session and signing on to his community, he was able to reshape my mindset and grow my finances into the high 5. This one has not reached 7 digits yet, but say it's already moving between high 5 and 6 figures a month. I say I cannot stress the value of the program enough if you are willing to put in the work. Thank you, thank you. That's from Isaac Ahmed Jr. Next week also we'll be adding more testimonials. This week alone, I got about 12 testimonials, which are going to add to this one. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what we do here. My job as the lead mentor in this community is to give you direction to the life of the wealthy, to give you direction to the life of the wealthy. And I know many of us want to be there. To a direction, to a lifestyle of the wealthy. Ladies and gentlemen, the lifestyle of the wealthy is something you need to taste. It's something you need to experience. It's something you need to do. That you can do whatever you need to do within one day. Taking a decision of 10 million is a massive thing. It's a boom. It's a boom. In our community, we call it boom-bastic. call it bombastic, to be able to take decision at any point, and within one day you can say, I want to change my car in one day, 10 million word, 15 million word, and you get it done at your fingertip. That is what we call wealth. It is not just having money. Money, like I told you in some of our previous programs, I told you, it is easy to be rich. There are several ways to be rich. You can even be rich with your salary. You can be rich by borrowing money, by taking loan from banks. You can be rich through corruption, but you can never be wealthy through any of these means. There is just one way to be wealthy, and the only way to be wealthy is to create wealth. The only way to be wealthy is to create wealth. That's why it's important that we understand how the wealthy what have they done to enter into their wealth. And today, I'm going to be talking to you about the skills to learn in order to become wealthy. There are some skills that you need to learn in order to become wealthy. I was talking to somebody today who was a top network marketer in the crypto blockchain technology environment. It's a Nigerian, very young man. I met him, and he was telling me how he made 23 million naira just some few weeks ago, just from the blockchain technology, And when I was started talking to him, he said, sir, he said, I will bring some of my things to you to assess it for me again. Why? Because he sees that I came from a technical background, financial investment, analysis and advisor system, where we are not just taking something because it's profitable or because it's very low risky or high risky. We are looking at it from every point of view. I was talking to somebody today, a member of the community was there. And while we're talking, and she said she already invested something yesterday, and right there, she was calling that person to cancel that investment. Said, don't do it. Said, if you have not done it, please just stop it, because I showed her what she's about to do will land her in a big debt. And she saw it, and it's not something about. And from every day, I was telling somebody today, this week alone, I profiled 12 investment opportunities. 12 investment opportunities. I do all of this for the sake of my community, of this community, to be able to know what to advise. Somebody was telling me some weeks ago, he said, I met somebody, he said this to this, and I began to give a lowdown of what he said he's into. He said, sir, you know about it? I said, that's my job. Every day, investment opportunities come, products come to me. I assess them, not just because I want to involve myself, but because I need to provide leadership and guidance to members of my community who may be approached with such opportunities also, and I'll be able to tell them, look at this, look at this, look at this. This is the reason this is not good, and don't go there. This is the reason why you may test this, but on a very low scale. That's why you remember very well about 7 weeks ago when I spoke to the community members, and I told them, if you have money, go and buy Bitcoin, because within a week, Bitcoin is about to appreciate by 2 million naira, just one Bitcoin. And within 3 days, that happened. I said it on Sunday, in our evening program on Sunday, afternoon program on Sunday, and by Monday, the move began. By Wednesday, it hit 6.9 million from 5.2 million. And up to today, Bitcoin, as I speak to you, is about 11 point something million. Let me just show you right here and now how much Bitcoin had risen to become. Bitcoin now is 11 million 46,000. 11 million and 46,000. Let me just show you. So this is what I do every day, analyzing, profiling opportunities, and to be able to provide leadership and mentorship guidance to every member of my community, and as many people as also desire such opportunities and such information from me. Look at it. This is the selling price of Bitcoin, 11,045,945 naira 29 kobo. That's the current value. Now imagine somebody bought it when I advised at 5.2. Now the person would have had double 100% within a space of 6 weeks, 7 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what we do here. That's what we do here. But much more importantly, we need to make you understand what is the beginning of the journey to wealth. is about the way a wealthy man think, the way what a wealthy man do, the kind of knowledge that wealthy people have, and so on and so forth. I paid $6,000 every year to be in a mentorship community in America where we have over 35,000 wealthy people, and I mean wealthy people. Over 200 of them have personal aircrafts. I mean, over 200 of them have personal aircrafts, and so on and so forth. So that is what wealthy people do. A wealthy man can pay anything to get knowledge, can pay anything to get knowledge, can also pay anything, can make any sacrifice to be in a community of people that reasons like him. Like I was saying in the program, in the last meeting that I held, and I was playing it just before we came into this program, I told you to ask them to reduce their volume. They have not. So as I was telling you that last week, as I was playing to you before we started now, that you don't understand the power of a community culture. You know, when you are in the midst of a community where everybody thinks the same way, the reason you are where you are is not because you have not made effort. It's because every knowledge you have had is grown from the mindset, the foundation that your parents gave you. You grew up among a poor parent, a poor community, and so every knowledge you have is applied towards that poverty thinking. You know, some years ago, we used to think that bread is meant for only Sunday. We used to think that rice is only meant for Sundays. You know, that's a poverty. And so today, if your child is demanding for something from you, say, what is it that you are thinking? What are you, something wrong with you? Why? Because we grew up applying the knowledge of poverty to everything that we have always done. And so that is that's different. And that's why, like I said last week, that's why the rich are getting richer. The rich people are getting married to the rich people. And sometimes we criticize it. Say, why will they not continue to be rich? When, oh, do you want a rich man to give his daughter or his son to you, poor? Where will you even meet them in the first place? Because they are in a community. They already have relationship. So you see those big names marrying themselves, not because you are not handsome, not because you are not beautiful, but the reason is that there's a community which you don't belong. And so if you want to get into wealth, you must find that community. Locate 5 people, your closest friend, closest friends that you have. How many of them are wealthy? If your community of 5 best friends, they are poor like you, then if you want to be wealthy, you need to get out of them. Find a community where wealthy people interact, not by going to clubs, but find a community where wealthy people share knowledge, just like where you are today. This is what we are doing, making you come every Saturday, share knowledge together, make you understand the mindset of the wealthy, and because of that, you have begun the journey. This afternoon, let me not be distracted. I want to talk to you this afternoon about 10 skills. If I can't complete it today, we'll complete next week, Saturday. 10 skills that you need to learn to become wealthy. 10 skills. Number one skill that you must learn to be wealthy is called persuasion. Persuasion. And let me also say this, until you are persuaded, you cannot be persuasive. Is someone hearing me? Until you are persuaded, you cannot be persuasive. Yes, until you are persuaded, you cannot be persuasive. And what does that mean? You need to be convinced in what you want to convince someone about. And so one thing that one skill they do is the power of persuasion, is the ability to persuade. You know, that is one thing. And how do I define persuasion in my own word? Persuasion is the ability to make someone do what you want him to do, even though he does not want to do it. Persuasion is making someone to do what you want him to do, even though he does not want to do it. Despite or whether he wants to do it or not, if you are a man or woman that has the power of persuasion, you will get people to do what you want them to do. That is what is called persuasion. Persuasion. It is also the you must, as a man on the journey to wealth, you must learn how to make people believe in you. And that is why persuasion comes with 2 major things. Persuasion, thank you. Persuasion comes with two major things. Number one is knowledge, and number two is integrity. If you are not a man of knowledge and a man of integrity, it is difficult to get people to believe in you. Let me tell you, and this is a skill that wealthy people take advantage of to enter into their wealth. It's a skill. It's not a cunning way. It is persuasion. Let me tell you, one of, I think is the wealthiest man in Africa today told us how he started his business. As a very young boy, he approached his uncle, I think for 100 naira to start a business. And the uncle availed him the 100 naira. Let me tell you, many of us today, we have teenagers around us or early youth. If a 20-year-old child comes to you and say, please borrow me 100,000, uncle, please borrow me 100,000 naira. I have a business plan that I want to implement. How many of us will borrow them? The reason you are not able to borrow them is most time because they have not convinced you. You are not persuaded that what they actually intend to do is going to be achievable. So because of that, you will not be willing to sacrifice 100,000 for them. But this young man was able to persuade his uncle. He gave him 100 naira, and then he started that business. From there, the business grew and grew and grew, and today, the wealthiest man in Africa. So, ladies and gentlemen, you must wealth. The one skill that you must have in your journey to wealth is the power of persuasion. Is the power of persuasion. Somebody tells me, and you know, every time I've told people, sometimes when I need to talk, especially talking to network marketers, I say, I'm not a network marketer. I don't know how to market. I don't know how to sell products to people. I don't know how to. However, one thing is sure: any opportunity that I see and is real, I receive this drive, I receive this boost to be able to share it to people, because I'm someone, if there's anything that drives me in life, it is solution. Let me tell you one thing that you can, so that you can be sure to, that drives me anytime, any day. Wake me up in the night, wake me up in the morning, see me going on the way and say, sir, there is a solution. And I assess it and I see it as a solution. I receive an inner strength to show it to anybody I come across. Ben, come and look at this. This is bombastic. This is massive. You know, that is some. So however, this is the power that network marketers in professional term see. This is the power that people that have a crowd of 50,000 see, and they take advantage of, and they begin to work. What is it called? It's the power of persuasion. Don't forget that I've not seen somebody type it. I said to you that for you to develop that skill, you need two other values in life. You need two other values. Number one value you need to be persuasive is called knowledge, and number two is called integrity. You need, let me tell you, for you to convince me about something, for me even to open my, you know, I attended a training in the United Kingdom 2 years ago, and the 1 week training was just listening skills. Listening skill. That was all I went to learn for 5 solid days in an international reputable organization. You know, listening skill. And the first thing I was told was that every one of us went to school, from primary to secondary school. The first thing they teach you is how to, in fact, the first thing you learn is how to speak. The second thing you learn is how to write. Then when after you have learned how to write, they will now teach you how to speak well. Then that's when they will start teaching you phonetics and teaching you phonics and sound and all of that. However, and he said to me, and that day I was shocked to my bones. You know, when he said to me, he said, all through school, from nursery, from the kindergarten for some of us in our generation, to nursery or primary school, to secondary, to university, to masters, to some of us PhD, we never did any course about how to listen. You learn how to speak, you learn how to write, but nobody ever taught you how to listen. So most time you can be talking to somebody, it is different. Hearing is not the same as listening. So some people, you are talking to them, they are just hearing you. Why? Because they have closed their mind. They know this man is not a man of integrity. Whatever he's saying, there is an atom, there's an iota of lie in what he's saying. So they close their mind. and they just continue to, if they are very patient with you, they will allow you to talk without any interruption. And after you have talked, they will say, okay, I will get back to you. They are never going to get back to you. Why? You are not a man of integrity. And if you are not a man of integrity, no matter how much value you want to present to someone, is likely not going to be persuaded. Why? Because of integrity. So one value you need in life to have the skill of persuasion is integrity. The second one is knowledge. You first have to know something to persuade someone to believe it. You must first know before you persuade someone to believe it. You cannot tell me to just believe me. You know, when somebody comes to me and say, believe me, why must I believe you? Tell me, give me information. It's the information that you give me that will make me either to believe you or not. It is not for you to say, believe you. You know, there's this language when we're growing and say, believe you mean. You can't believe you mean. Believe you mean does not ever mean I'm going to believe you. It only says that there's an altar of some unbelief or some lies or doubtful thing in what you want to say. No, you don't need to tell me to believe you. You only need to make the information available to me and say it with integrity of purpose. And then from there, I can analyze it, I can listen to you, and I can take my decision. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, you cannot perceive. Knowledge is a value that you must carry in order to have the skill of persuasion. For example, I want to persuade you that this phone can do anything. I mean, just say, you see this phone I'm carrying, I use it to do everything in life. That statement is very vague. Now, I need knowledge, and you want to persuade me to buy this phone. So I need knowledge. What is the capacity of this phone? Then maybe your entire life capacity is just 8 gig. And so you found a 16 gigabyte phone and it's exciting you. And you think that because it solves your problem, it's going to solve every other person's problem. And you want to persuade me. And you come to me that carries a 20 terabyte data, you know? So you can't tell me, believe me. Sir, I will not believe you. Can you present your information? Can you tell me what you know so that I can now take my decision either to believe you or not? So, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, one skill that you must have in the journey to wealth is called persuasion. And for you to have that persuasion, persuasion runs on the wheel of integrity and knowledge. Persuasion runs on the wheel of integrity and knowledge. I say it again, persuasion is a skill. It runs on the wheel of integrity and knowledge. It runs on the wheel of integrity and knowledge. Don't forget that ever. So if you want to be a wealthy man, you want to be a wealthy woman, you know you need the power of persuasion. If you want your banker to give you credit facility, you need to persuade them through business writing, what we call business writing. When you do a business writing that is full of information, that means you know. And then integrity, don't forget, when we talked about credit, boosting your credit rating many weeks ago, we also talked about integrity. Let me tell you, in life, wealth, you cannot separate wealth from integrity. You can never separate wealth from integrity. People of shady character can be rich, but they cannot be wealthy. Why? Because the shadiness can only take you a little far. It's going to cut down with you along the journey. So you must, wealth and integrity always run together. That's why you see a man very rich today because goes to the floor tomorrow. Why? It's the most one of the major reasons why people rise like that and fall sharply to the ground is lack of integrity. You swindle somebody with a sweet tongue and was able to run business with you, but at the point of payment, you took money away without giving him his portion. That's going to be the last time. So you can be rich and somebody is saying you bought a new car, the first one, in another week you bought the second one. Yes, you are rich, good for you. But the next time you need a collaboration for a project that can take you to wealth, and you go to people, let me tell you, nobody's going to give you that kind of support because you have not been a man of integrity. So one skill that you must learn. And let me tell you, it's just like the power of deliverance. You know, for most of us that understand what I'm talking about, when you want to begin this, you start with your children. You lay hand on your children and see if they say, ah, daddy, I'm fine. Then you have courage to move forward. Most times, the power of persuasion, the skill of persuasion, as you begin it, you begin with your family. And that's why I find it very difficult to believe most time when I see a family, a husband and a wife, one is doing one thing, another one is doing another thing. They never join to do the same business, the same kind of, they are not on the same space. You know, that means that both of them or one of them or the one that is on the journey to wealth does not have the power of persuasion. I know that there are some partners that are very difficult anyway, but let me tell you, power of persuasion can sweep anyone off his feet. We are not talking about sweet tonguing. Don't forget, we're not talking about sweet tonguing. That's why I say information and integrity is key. So when you come, I remember many weeks ago, somebody who I showed an opportunity and was amazed, needed to share it with our husband. And after sharing it, the husband was not very favorably disposed to it. And you know, and so she brought me in contact with the husband. And within a few minutes, the husband said, please, how do I start? You know why? Because I have loads of information that she didn't have. So, you know, sometimes you can, people looking into your eye, into your eyeballs, can see mischief. And most times some mischief in the eye are actually ignorance in disguise. Did you hear what I said? Some mischief in the eye are actually ignorance in disguise. In fact, I know someone, I used to tell him as far back as 12 years ago, I tell him, I say, please, I say, why are you always jittery? Stand up and say what you know. He knows it, but every time he goes to say it, people think he's lying. Why? Because knowledge, because they lack the power of persuasion, you know? So I said something. I said, most times, mischief on the eyes, is actually ignorance in disguise, which means that you want to tell somebody something and you genuinely mean it, but you don't have sufficient information. So when they ask you the first question, your eyeball will look like you are mischievous. Meanwhile, the mischief is seen in your eyes is actually not mischief in the real sense, but actually because you lack information, you lack knowledge, you are not able to stand up to what you came to present. So sometimes mischief in the eyes is actually ignorance in disguise. So you must begin your skill, practicing your skill for persuasion by starting with your family. Make sure that your father, your wife believe in what you believe. Make sure your husband believe in what you believe. Make sure your children believe in what you believe. Make sure your father, your mother, you know, call them up sometimes and tell them what you believe, and try to sway them, to believe what you believe. You know, over time you will see, wow. And sometimes a little question may just throw your balance. You go back and study again and come back again. And you know, before you know it, you are confident, you are persuaded, and you are able to persuade others because you have knowledge and integrity. Many times we think integrity is about being able to say the truth always. No. Sometimes integrity is not just about being able to say the truth or being able to be in right standing. Sometimes integrity is enforced also by knowledge. Integrity can be enforced by knowledge. The reason some people lost integrity for people believing in you was because what you said was true, was actually not true, not because you lied, but because you didn't have enough information. That is why every time I have a product to present to anyone, especially my community, what I do is to do a thorough research. I met somebody today, and when we're talking, I said, don't worry, overnight I'm going to do research. I said, by the time I'm back, I will teach you, I'll be the one teaching you about this same thing. Yes, the reason I could say that is because I know I'm going back to my study room. I know I'm going back to my to my library. I know I'm going back to hit the internet through this night. I'm going to learn. I'm going to read up. I'm going to listen. And by the time I'm waking up tomorrow morning, wow. If you see me again, you will say, oh, so you were pretending like you didn't know it. I didn't know you know it. Most times it's not because I didn't know it, but because I have gone back, I've taken a retreat and I've studied. So don't forget integrity all the time. Many times it is not your lack. People see you not as a band of integrity. It's not because you have lied before, but because you have not always had the complete information. You have not always had the complete knowledge. So ladies and gentlemen, you can begin to try this, persuading your wife, persuading your husband, persuading them even to wear a particular dress. You know, this is a skill. And by the time you earn it, by the time you earn the skill of persuasion, anything you try to get, because you will know, you already know the pattern. You know that you need to have knowledge, you know you need to show integrity, then persuasion becomes very easy. Number two skill, and probably this is where we're going to stop. Number two skill that you must have, what you must learn in your journey to become wealthy, is learning and reading. Learning and reading. You must have that skill of learning, of learning. Anytime I meet people, don't forget this quote. Let me see if I can share it with you. Don't forget this quote. You can be informed and not be updated. Do you remember? You can be informed and not be updated. So every time you meet someone who wants to tell you something, open your mind, listen, listen. I met someone today and we spoke at length. Before I met that person, I heard that, that she is a very knowledgeable person and she's a strong person. And so I came and I listened to learn. She also listened to me, and by the time she began, and I said, wow, this is good. Wow, this is nice. Wow, this is nice. And then when I began to do my analysis, she said, so I've made some mistake. I say, yes, but it's not really a mistake. It's because of the depth of knowledge you have as at the time you are making that decision. Now you have known more. You will not take the same decision you took just yesterday or early this morning again. So you can be informed and not updated. You can be informed and yet you are not updated. Don't forget that. So anytime you have the opportunity to see someone who has something to say, please, even if he's going to say something that you already know, listen to him. Most time we have closed our mind, not listening, and we think we know something that is superior. But most time, if you are a learner, if you are a man that have a learning skill, you will always listen, because most time, even when we already know what someone wants to say, most time, even though when you know what someone already wants to say, there might be one little additional information that is going to give you that you didn't have before. And by the time he gives it to you, you add it to the depth of knowledge, you become better than even him that came to share that knowledge with you. So ladies and gentlemen, you must be a man that is a learning man, a learner. Be a learner. Learn, learn, unlearn, relearn. You must be a learner. If you are on the journey, you must have the skill of learning. Learning is a skill. Some people don't just have it, they always posture themselves as knowing all, you know, and you get to see that anytime you try to talk to them, because they make what you want to say look as if they already know. But ladies and gentlemen, most time they don't know anything. Most time they don't know anything. As much as I think I know, God had helped me to know today, especially in the financial space. When someone comes to me to say anything to me, to show me anything, I listen to them. I keep quiet, open my mind, listen to them. Why? Because there is just one thing that you don't know and that can mess up everything that you know. There is one thing you don't know that can mess up everything you know. So every time you have the opportunity of listening, please listen. Please listen to people. Please listen to new ideas. Please listen to new information. You know, I was studying a particular model of business just this week that we are rounding up. I was studying a model of business and I was trying to look at it, how profitable it could be. Because as an investment opportunity, as an investment advisor, you must see the reasonability of a product that is being presented to you. You know, there are some that by the time you look at it 2 times, you know this is not reasonable, this will not work. So looking at the reasonability, I was studying it and I stumbled on an information that makes me know that I never knew this, you know? And today I am better off. I'm still studying that product, but I know that in the next 3 months, that is where the world is going. And you know, one of the things that position the wealthy ahead of others most time is that they see where the world is going before the world moves. Did you hear what I said? You can put it in the chat box for me. One of the things that have helped and positioned the wealthy is that they see where the world is going before the world moves. When many years ago, a company rose up to buy what do you call this phone then, a BlackBerry. And when we had the value that it was sold, most of us felt that this was unreasonable. Why? Just for the chatting facility that BlackBerry had closed license to own, you know. And to make the matter worse, when they bought it, they opened it up to everybody to use. Not just that they bought it from BlackBerry, they bought it and opened it up. Come and take it, use it. We felt that they were stupid. But today, it was a marketing strategy that became very massive. Today, everyone, even those of us that thought that the price of BlackBerry, that actually they bought the chatting application of BlackBerry was too exorbitant. Today we can see everything now rides on chatting, everything now rides on social communication, you know. So don't thank you. There is one thing you don't know that can mess everything you know up, that can mess up everything that you know. And I said that one of the things that are positioned and help the wealthy is that they see where the world is going before the world moves. Before the world moves. So the world is already seeing it, but the wealthy see it first. And so they are already waiting. And so when the world is arriving, it's arriving in their palms. Do you get it now? So the world moves after the wealthy have moved and arrived in their hands. So at the end of the day, everything just seems to fall into the arms of the wealthy. Why? Because of foresight. And that foresight comes most often than not through having the skill of reading and learning, reading and learning, reading and learning. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, many years ago, specifically 1998, although this is a bit strange for those of us that are not of my faith, you may not understand it. 1998, early in the year, I was sleeping and I will call it a dream so that everyone here can understand. And I had a dream. Then I was still in the bank and I had a dream that in year 2000, every bank's computer scattered and there was just paying any kind of interest to people. So when I came out of that dream, I understood it. And I began to do a report, you know, as we used to do then in the bank. I did a report, a comprehensive feasibility study. And I told my boss in the morning, I submitted the report, I said in the year 2000, that all the computers in the world is going to malfunction. You know what he told me? He said to me, Mr. Olayemi, he said, the people that makes computer already knows how to handle that. So I said, it's okay. I took my feasibility study that I took nights to write. I took it and I went to keep it. One day, the same boss came to the office. This man always arrived office 5 minutes to 8 or 8 o'clock. Between 5 minutes to 8 and 8, we'll see him, his car will move into the office. He came in about 7 o'clock, about a little past 7. You know, I think that he did not even knot his tie, and he was a well-kitted man with suit and tie. He didn't knot his tie, not his tie, and he just came. He said, I was just watching the CNN. You know, in those days, DSTV was not here then, so it's one big satellite, and only big men have it. It was an AGM in the bank then. So he said, I was watching satellite this morning, and they said that in 2020, there's something called in year 2000 that is going to happen. It's called Y2K bug. Then he ran to the office and was calling me and said, Mr. Olayemi, you did a report about 1 year ago. I laughed and I said I couldn't see it again. He begged and said, please, I should go and look for it. And so eventually I brought it. This is what it means. And let me tell you, you know what happened in those days when there were about 96 banks in Nigeria. There was no bank. In fact, if anybody here that was a banker as far back as year 2000, 1998, 1999, 2000, there was no bank that did not spend minimum of 100 million naira then to be able to reshape their application and their system to be Y2K compliant. It became a world issue. However, because I already saw, and we moved, and when the world was moving, it landed in our hands. You will not believe. We upgraded our system without spending a dime to be Y2K compliant. Today, I still have my board of directors commendation letter. I still have it in my file. Still have the board of directors commendation letter for seeing where the world was going before the world moved. And then we were there, and I positioned the bank there. And so when the world moved, it arrived in our hands, and everybody were running around spending money, sending their staff abroad to go and study this thing. But we were already done. We were already done. You know, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I'm giving you an example of seeing where the world is going before the world moves. And then you're already there. And when the word arrives, it arrives in your hand. And you know what it does is that when the word arrives in your hands, you make a massive benefit from it. Massive benefit, because everything the world needs, you just begin to drop it in his hand. You want this, you just because you have seen it ahead of time. This is what wealthy people do. How do they get to do this? How do the richest man in Africa get to know that sugar and cement and a few other things is going to be massive, to be in massive demand? How could he see the kind of housing system that is rising up in the city of Abuja, Nigeria, in the city of Lagos, going to Ibeju, Lekki, and you see massive estates covering 550, 100 hectares of land? How was he supposed to know? But he saw it before the world saw it. He took a loan of $1.2 billion. And by the time and the world moves, the world landed in his palm, and today is making billions of dollars from seeing where the world is going and moving before the world moves. Ladies and gentlemen, so if you must become wealthy, one skill you must learn is a reading and learning skill. Reading skill is important, is a complementing of learning, because you cannot learn. One of the ways to learn is by reading. In fact, the major way to learn is by reading, by studying. And so you read and you learn. Learning goes beyond reading. Learning includes always opening your mind. Learning includes opening your mind always. Let even give whosoever wants to show you something the opportunity to hear from him. I told you, I shared this with you. Okay, it's my community group that I shared it with. You know, about 3 months ago, I was showing an opportunity. I wanted to show an opportunity to a former classmate of mine who we have not seen for over 30 years now. But somehow, because we now have a school group, we now begin to communicate once in a while. So I saw it as an opportunity. I presented an opportunity to him. And while I just asked him, I said, will you like me to talk to you? I had not even said what exactly I specifically want to talk. Will you like me to talk to you about an opportunity? He said, no, I don't do anything other than this and this. So I just said, no, okay, that's fine. Thank God you are even doing something. It's more crime when you don't do anything, but at least you have 1, 2 things you do, but you don't do every other thing. I said, no problem. About 3 weeks ago, we're conversing again. About 2, 3 weeks ago, we're conversing again on chat. And he was lamenting about the increase in naira to dollar. I now laughed and I said, but for some of us, that is what we are happy with it, you know. And he said, how? I said, this thing I wanted to show you the other day. He said, oh, but you didn't tell me. I said, but you didn't want to listen. You shut me down by saying that you don't do any other thing. So I began to explain to him. I showed my community member there, and then he agreed to be on that, to take advantage of it. Why? He missed that opportunity, which he would have taken more than 3 months back. Why? Because he closed his mind. He was not ready to learn. As a learn, if you have a learning skill, anything someone wants to say to you will be, it's not just 5 minutes. I listen to you, and that 5 minutes can make a difference 5 years with you. So most time we don't learn because our mind is closed, our mind is short. We're not willing to give people opportunity. We think we know more than somebody by just looking at him on the face. Let me tell you, there are people that look like dummies, but they are loads. They carry volume of information. I met a young man some months ago, and when I looked at him, when I profiled him physically, and when we began to talk, even his spoken English was not it at all. But when he told me what he invested in this, I was shocked. I said, wow. So good things can be hidden inside rubbish. So sometimes what we consider as rubbish are actually carries a lot of knowledge and information. So ladies and gentlemen, you must be a reader, you must be a learner. And to learn involves opening your mind, reading, studying, giving every opportunity. Look at today, we are 16 on this call today. We are 16 on this call for a message that was sent to over 700 people. Only 16 were here. Why? Most of the rest, 97% of those that are not here today are not here because they are not learners, not because they are busy. Because I asked someone many weeks ago who was always being busy, and I had to be very frank with her. And she said, I'm always busy. I said, can I ask you a few questions? Let me see if I can see the chat. I said, can I ask you a few questions? I said, since you have been busy, how much has it fetched for you? I want to see if I can get the chart here. I say, how much has it fetched you all the time that you've been busy? So if you are somebody like that that's always busy or saying you are busy, ask it, how much has it earned for me? What if I just give this 1 hour? Can it change my life? Can it change the course of my journey? You know, sometimes they say I don't have time. Where is the result? Where is the result of your not having time? Those things that you give your time to, that does not make you have time for learning, where is the result from it? And they say, even if I listen to you, will it work? Why should it not work? Why should it not work? What if it fails? What if it works? You understand? These are the things that we use to lock our minds, and by the time we wake up, we are living in regrets. And you know, most time we end up as witches and wizards, getting angry with people who have taken that opportunity that we didn't take, or backbiting on them, and all of that. Why? Because they are making the kind of progress that we have not made. The most annoying and painful thing is when you see someone making it through an opportunity that you have also been presented with and you didn't do anything about it. Do you get what I'm saying? Or what I said? One of the most painful things in life is seeing someone succeed in the same opportunity that have been presented to you, but you didn't take advantage of it. And most time, that kind of pain ends up into hatred, because we begin to hate those people because they are succeeding in what. Do you know why the devil is angry with the choir? Because the choir is succeeding in the area that the devil refused to operate and was driven out of the position. So, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to understand. I have 10 skills that you need to learn on your journey to wealth. And if you want to get the remaining ones, continue with me here on Saturday. Don't forget, I said, this is Financial Mentoring with Yemi Ayodele. It's a program that is aimed at building 10,000 wealthy people by year 2025. And to do that, we engage in a 3-process model. Number one is every single Saturday by 2 p.m. Every single Saturday by 2 p.m. I still can't see the picture. Every single Saturday by 2 p.m., what do? Every single Saturday by 2 p.m., we listen to this seminar. Then on Sunday by the same 2 p.m., we come together. What I come to do on Sunday is to show you products, opportunities that the wealthy people have taken advantage of in life to become wealthy. Products, specific products. Just like I said many weeks ago, I discussed 6 weeks ago, I discussed about Bitcoin. And today, Bitcoin moved from that day, it has not stopped moving from 5.2 million, it's now 11.046, 11,046,000 naira as we speak. So if someone has taken advantage of that information and have bought just one Bitcoin, that 6 weeks ago, by today, that Bitcoin had risen in excess about 6 million naira, more than 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what we do on Sunday. Then, if having listened to these things, you also make up your mind that, wow, it will be sweet if I belong to this community to build a culture and to be in the midst of people who have a culture of the wealthy, who are on a journey, 2 years, 5 years, 2-year mid-term and 5 years long-term journey to get into wealth. I think I want to join it. And ladies and gentlemen, then what you do is the link for the practical mentorship group is going to be dropped for you just now by one of the members of the mentorship community. When you see that link, please, if you are not sure yet, don't click it. It is free, but it's costly, because the moment you get into that community, you begin to do what we do. And the minimum of what we do is that every single month, the total income that comes to you, whether it is planned or unplanned income, as they come, minimum of 50% of it is dropped for investment. The investment will be invested, the sum will be invested in your name, in whatever different opportunities that I consider as useful for you at that particular point in time. Somebody was showing me an opportunity, he said, can I do this? I said, you can't do it because this is not yet your stage. You know, everybody is on a journey, and depending on the stage that you are in that journey, that is the kind of product that we also advise for you to undertake. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's important. So in case you want to join that community, the link has been dropped for you in the chat box. The link has been dropped for you in the chat box. Please locate the link and join. However, please don't join if you are not prepared for it. This is a journey of no return. Don't join if you are not ready for it. I hope we all understand that. Don't join that community if you are not ready for total surrender of your control over your finances. Ladies and gentlemen, let me show with you as we begin to round up the program that is coming this week on Wednesday. I'm sharing with you on the screen now. It's a free finance strategy webinar. It's a free finance strategy webinar. The topic is planning your finances for a better 2021. I don't know whether you are totally satisfied with your finance in 2020. Let me tell you, by the grace of God, this year 2020 has been one of the best years ever for me financially. You know, another year that I remember like 2020 was year 2012. You know that in such a short time, the volume of wealth that I came across was massive. 2020 is another one. But I want many of us, we have lost the opportunity because we have not positioned ourselves before 2020 with what we met. But some of us were positioned, and when it came, we just took advantage of it. So don't miss this opportunity to plan your finance for 2021. Avoid making the same money mistakes you made in 2020. In this webinar, I will show you how to strategically plan, grow and manage your finances in 2021. And if you love it, to be a beautiful thing also, if you join the community where you totally just sign on or surrender to the mentorship which will guide you into the journey. Don't forget, I told you at the beginning, in our mentorship community, we have a few people today who within 3 months have grown their income into 7 digits every week. I'm not talking about every month. There are some every single week. I have someone who is earning, who has moved from earning 1 million in a week, that's 7 digits, to earning as much as 2.1 million every week. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the kind of community we are building. To reserve a seat, there are 2 sessions of this program. There is the noon session, which is by 12 noon, and there is the evening session, which is by 8 p.m. But you need to reserve a seat and also indicate which of the sessions you would love to attend. It still does not matter that if you miss the one you chose, that you cannot join the other, but it's to help us manage and plan the back end of the platform that we are going to deploy. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have not registered, the link has been posted the link has been posted. Oh, sorry, I'm posting it somewhere else. The link I'm posting right now again. So if you have not registered, please, I've sent the link by through the chat now. Click on that link, http://bit.ly/investment webinar, and register a seat. Reserve a seat for yourself. If you have any inquiry, you can call that phone number there, and if you want to join the financial mentorship community, you are ready to surrender your finances for you to be helped to get into wealth. Please, the WhatsApp and the Telegram link has been dropped. Please don't be in a hurry. If you are not yet satisfied or convinced, wait again for tomorrow, wait again for next Saturday until you are convinced. When you are convinced, the journey begins for you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we're going to end today. This is Financial Mentoring with Yemi Ayodele. Tomorrow again by 2 p.m., join me on this same call where I show you products that the wealthy people have taken advantage of. For those of you that won from $5 to $10 to $100 in this program, please reach out to me immediately after the program and collect your gift. And so don't forget, one way to get gifts here is to arrive early, is to invite people into this program. Number 3 is also to engage your chat box. Anytime you are here, you're engaging your chat box. I'm watching the chat box. Today, only a few people were on the chat. Only a few people. Olade, Ojo, Adesope, Emmanuel, and partially Bello, Opeoluwa. And so we really need, when we engage like that, it shows me that something is registering to your mind, and the fabric of your system is receiving some power that can change the way you have always seen things. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we're going to end for today. And if you have also not subscribed, or you just subscribe, please, all our previous editions are on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and watch the previous editions, and see you again tomorrow. It's been a wonderful time having you here. Don't agree to remain where you are. The wealthy place is where you belong, and that's where we are taking you. So get on board. Thank you, and see you tomorrow, 2 p.m.